we're, maybe guys we had no clue about, guys that impressed us, and we're going to have to talk about obvious situations. So let's start with the quarterbacks. Those are the main guys, and let's just get it out of the way. Anthony Richardson.
The most athletic quarterback in NFL history is approaching the NFL. That's what we're getting at 6'3", 3/4, 244 pounds. I mean, he had the best vertical, the best broad jump of any quarterback ever. It's not even at the combine. That's ever, any pro day, any pro workout, anything. Like he bested them with the 40.5 vert and the 10.9 broad, and then went out and ran a 4.43 at 244 pounds. Yeah, this is why he kind of got that hype, and I definitely pushed against it for as long as I could. But I think we knew he was athletic. That's not a surprise. I didn't know he'd definitely be the like by far the most, like he crushed Cam Newton's 10 in the RAS, right? We talked to Kent last week. He said he felt like this was possible. So I think it does push Anthony Richardson clearly in the top 5 of this draft.
Now, the argument you can make is, should he be? That answer is unequivocally no, but it's going to happen. This isn't Malik Willis last year where, people were trying to make fetch happen and it just didn't happen. This is going to happen. Richardson's at worst, we're looking at a top 10 pick now. At worst here.
And I think the biggest thing is this gives a floor for him. Everyone's going to talk about, Anthony Richardson has a high ceiling, right? That's what we're seeing. No, this is a floor. This is, Justin Fields from last year, where Anthony Richardson can't complete a pass. He can run around, and it's going to be hard to tackle him at 244 pounds running a 4.43. I think that's the thing, is if you have an offense that can kind of utilize that, he's not going to be a complete and utter bust. I still fear for the passing. I also don't think he's the best runner, like rush angles and setting up defenders. I don't think he knows what he's doing. I think there's still a lot of work there that he has to do, but we'll see. I mean, you got a 10 RAS, right? So I don't know if the light bulb had to go off in your head, Brian. When the Colts are picking at 4, 10 RAS, like that sounds like a Colts pick right there by Chris Ballard.
It certainly does. And now I have to see CJ Stroud work out, because he's got to at least top 9 or he's not going to be a Colt, right? So we'll see.
It's fair.
Them's the rules. We didn't make the rules. I mean, the Colts made the rules last year. Last thing on Anthony Richardson, and I want to, because I talked about this on a radio show local here in Mobile the other day. Cam Newton comparisons are going to be abound. People have already made them. They're going to keep making them until it's over. As a collegiate player, Cam Newton at Auburn, before Joe Burrow's season, the best collegiate football season probably ever, right? Shane, do you know how many other players on that Auburn offense actually played in an NFL game?
I don't. How many?
1.
Wow.
That's it. Cam Newton carried that team. Anthony Richardson did not carry Florida. Anthony Richardson's out here losing to Vanderbilt. I'm not saying you can't be a successful NFL quarterback after you lose to Vanderbilt, but this research is for other people to do another day. I don't think you can do it. But anyway, let's talk about a couple other quarterbacks that at the combine here. And my new QB1, Shane, just by virtue of getting to throw after Anthony Richardson, I think it's the best thing to happen for CJ Stroud. Because Richardson, after all the hype he got from the physical tests, throws in front of CJ Stroud. Everything CJ Stroud did, which was perfect, looked absolutely great. Every ball came out effortlessly, like robotic almost. Stroud is moved up to QB1A now ahead. He was 1B for me. Now he's 1A ahead of Bryce Young, who I'm still going to have as 1B, but really wish he would have thrown now.
I feel like Bryce Young maybe wishes he would have thrown now. I think that could be the concern. I mean, Stroud, he's been my one since last May. I'm still there, obviously, but and maybe I'm being hyperbolic here since it's so recent, but it felt like maybe the best combine throwing session I've seen, because usually the top guys don't throw, so we usually don't even get to see it. But I mean, like you said, almost robotic. Every single step, the arm, the release. It didn't matter if he's throwing the 65 go, or if he was throwing, the 10 out, or even the slant inside. Same thing. Arm looked the same. Like quick release. That's why I think has the best pure passing talent of this group. And I think if you're the Texans at 2, or you're one of these teams like Carolina that wants to move up to 1, I would have to take CJ Stroud over the rest of the group.
He's definitely moved up for sure. And every ball was where it needed to be. No receiver had to struggle to go. They didn't have to go down to get one. They had to go up to get one. They had to reach behind him. Every ball was laid perfectly where it needed to be. Just absolute, like you said. It was one of the, like, we've seen pro day workouts, right, that looked like that.
Right.
Where you're throwing to your own guys and everybody you're familiar with. He's the only receiver he threw to that he even knew was Smith and Jigba, right? So, and I think they only had 1 rep together, right? From what I saw. So, yeah, just absolutely tremendous. Quickly on Bryce Young, weighed in at 204. That's why he didn't work out. The man ain't been doing nothing but eating junk food and mainlining water for 2 straight weeks, right, to get to that weight. Bryce Young's not 204 pounds. He's going to be listed at 204. He's not 204 pounds. We know that. He's not fooling anybody, right?
And he's not weighing in at the Alabama's pro day.
No.
So if he is running anything or doing anything, he's certainly not going to weigh in again. Yeah, look, you got to put the number on paper. We knew the height wasn't going to be great, 5'10" and 1/8. At least he was above 5'10". At least those 2/8 might make a difference in some people's eyes. But he did not play at 204. There's no way.
No. Yeah, maybe a missed opportunity there for him not throwing. The only quarterback, I mean, we're talking as a potential first rounder through in the first group, was Will Levis from Kentucky. Same style of passing workout to me that Richardson had, right? I mean, not greatly accurate, but a huge arm.
I mean, the downfield passes were impressive and accurate. I think he almost seemed better throwing some of the tougher stuff than the easier stuff, which is interesting to me. And maybe you see that and say, okay, I can teach the easy things. I need a guy that can do the hard things. So I get it. But yeah, it wasn't mind-blowing. The arm was much better than everyone else in that group. Well, almost everyone else. I got one more guy in that group that I like.
All right, we'll let you get that guy out of the way before we get to the position I know you really want to talk about from the combine. Any other quarterbacks either in the first or second group that you thought maybe helped themselves move up your board a little bit with their workout?
I'll say 2. One is one of your guys, Dorian Thompson-Robinson. I thought did look good throwing the football. Ran a 4.56, which I think is impressive. At 203 was pretty good. And then Stetson Bennett. Stetson Bennett impressed me, the quarterback from Georgia. His arm looked live. I felt that way kind of in the playoff game against Ohio State. We came in at 5'11", 192 pounds. Like, he's small, but I thought his arm was good. Ran a 4.67, which is pretty good. So he impressed me. And then Max Duggan from TCU was terrible throwing the football, but he ran a 4.52, which I did not think was in Max Duggan's wheelhouse to run faster than Malik Cunningham, but here we are.
Is there a way we can place a bet on if Denver will draft Max Duggan in the 6th or 7th round?
Look, you can, we'll have to talk off air. You could try to ask for one, but that'd be some nice odds if you could get it.
Just saying. I'm not saying he's Sean Payton's new Taysom Hill. I'm just
just saying.
Just saying. Stetson Bennett, Swag Kelly. I'm just going to throw that out there.
There you go.
All right. Let's move on to running back, Shane. And